Hi guys, Valarie from Heavenly Legends Art. I thought I'd do a quick video on how I create my patterns in Photoshop. Um, and this one is of a sunflower I took a couple of days ago in our front yard, and thought I would share how I do this. Um, Quick note for in the future, for a little while I'm going to have to back down to one video a week. I've gotten so busy that it's really pushing my limits, and I have other personal projects I do need to get done. So onto this, I just switched my photo over to black and white. It is easier for me to see the contrast of how I want my lights and darks, and I'm going to quickly show you how you can just go into the outline or photocopy filter in the filter gallery and switch it over. For me, it doesn't give enough information, but it is a good place to start, and it may be easier for others to do it. You need to be able to see my photo. So I can't remember which folder that photocopy is under. I can't see it on my screen right now. It's the fourth folder down, and that's what you get, and then you can adjust for how dark you want your lines, how much of the lines you want in there. But if you look, the leaf is just, for me, is too detailed. I don't need all that information. It's just, for me, it makes it too chaotic. I want the most basic information, because anything I take to the wood, once I just put the most basic outline, that's where my creativity really kicks in, and I create. So here I have lessened the opacity of the layer so that I can see the actual original photograph, and I'm just starting to bring in the lines that aren't clear, especially in the center, because of the darks and lights. The darks, you don't get all the information that I would need to make sure I'm at least on. If you hear clicking in the background, that's our ferret Loki. He's playing in his cage. So here I started doing the outline with the brush tool. I do have my brush a little thicker than I like, and I will adjust it. And there we have a little friend. I did not see the ant when I was taking the photo, or when I was adjusting the photograph for the colors and contrast. I didn't see the photos until I started doing the outline, or I'm sorry, the ant, until I started doing the outline. The outline I do for him is not, he doesn't look like an ant, because I'm just going off of the shapes and lights and darks. I drew him out once, and for me the brush was too thick and I didn't like my lines, so I erased and redid him. I will probably keep him in the piece because he's just a little nice added addition. In general, this sunflower has so much detail, but in general my patterns don't take me too awfully long to make. I could easily just go from the photo, but for me that's, like I said, too much information. I start putting in too many lines that I don't want because they're there. But if I do it this way, I basically have my pattern forever. If in the future I want to do something similar to this, I can go back into Photoshop and pull up this pattern and make whatever adjustments I want, turning things, removing things, adding things, and I don't have to worry about keeping a paper copy. It's always on my computer. This is the latest version of Photoshop. I did not buy the program outright. I ended up having, because they've just gone up in price so much over the years, that I ended up going with their subscription. You can, if you're interested, you can find out more about that on the Adobe website. Now there's another little friend that's in the photo. Again, I didn't see him until I started doing my outlines. So this is kind of a Where's Waldo? Can you find the friend in the photo that is not an ant? So again, I'm just getting my lines for my lights and darks. I don't need every bit of information. I don't need every line, every dot, just a general outline. My lines aren't straight, and I'm not even worried about that. I will, when I'm outlining and transferring onto the wood, my hand will get a lot more steady, and anything that looks too ragged, that won't even show up because that's not how I'll transfer. If you look at that leaf, that's just too much information to try to have in the pattern. The most important things that I need are where are my lights, where are my darks, because I really want that contrast to help pop and make my light stand out in my burning. And of course, with your lights and darks, you have it makes it look more complete. There's some artists who just do the flat, extremely dark burning, and they have beautiful pieces. But for me, the way I do my art, it just doesn't work. I need that variation. Now with my Wacom tablet and Photoshop, I could rotate the piece while I'm drawing and have straighter lines, but I didn't think you would want to get dizzy watching me quickly flip the different directions so that I could draw out. So instead I was in all kinds of contorted positions trying to even remotely get a line that worked. You see our buddy in the photo yet? I'll keep him in too. Now with this photo, I really wanted a sunflower with the background blurred out, and actually, though we are upgrading our camera in the near future for both prints and reference photos, this is just a 2006-2007 Sony, I think it's an H5 point and shoot, and I got really lucky. I did mess a little bit with my f-stop and whatnot, but I got really lucky. I was able to get that blurred background. There's so much information in the stamens, I don't have to have all that information. I just need the basic lines, the most basic. I'll have my reference photo, both the colored photo and the black and white on my tablet next to me. I used to print out my photos, and I don't even waste the ink anymore. If you have a tablet, it's just much easier, and you can see even more detail. I found when I was using my photos, I'd have a hard time seeing something, even if I adjusted the photograph, and I couldn't zoom. And with my tablet, you can also use your phone. I can zoom in and see very small details and have my lines on a little better. That also comes with practice. There are free programs. Gimp, I believe you can get for free, and it's similar to Photoshop. And granted, I've never used it, but from what I understand, it also uses a tablet. There's several tablets that you can, drawing tablets that you can hook up to your computer or laptop. You don't have to have the huge ones to do it. I've had my Wacom Intros Pro 4 since 2012, and I love it. So we're getting towards the end. You'll see me cut the picture in different ways so that I can print it out and tape it back together, and we're done, ready for transfer. As always, thank you for watching the video. Please remember to hit that like button down below, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Happy burning, guys.